So in today's Card Academy lesson, I'm going to show you guys a way to use the spread call to control a card to second from the top of the deck. Now, this is a fairly interesting move, and I've only heard about different takes on this when I was younger, obviously playing around with the spread call. I independently came up with this little thing, but from my understanding, Troy Hoosier, the creator of Charming Chinese Challenge, say that several times fast, has a move called Slipstream, which is a move that uses the spread call to control the card, I believe second or third to the top as well. So this one is just something that I independently came up with, but it serves the same purpose, which is using a spread call and controlling the card instead of to the bottom of the deck, where it's traditionally done with a spread call. It's actually done to the top and with a simple slip cut, or just showing the top card and putting in the middle of the deck. As you reiterate that the card's in the middle, you can actually get their card to the top fairly easily. So the move looks a little bit like this in action. We have a card that is touched, in this case the eight of spades, of course, in the action of just spreading the cards and reiterating to the spectator that it could have touched any card. That card is of course not controlled anywhere near the top until we want it to, with a little bit of a snap if you want. I recommend not snapping though, but that card happens to be on top, and you can get into your little ambitious card sequence at this point if you want to. I wouldn't recommend it, but it's there if the opportunity so arises. So let's go over the actual move itself and the way we actually do it. Now, here's the thing. You could do the move without the Solomon slider principle, but that way it's a lot harder to call the card. The advantage, though, is that instead of getting the card third from the top, you're going to get the card second from the top if you do it without a Solomon slider. However, I do recommend, just to eliminate all the friction and to eliminate any one of these specific moves that you see, or these movements that you see magicians make whenever they spread call cards, when it's obvious that there's one card that's going. To eliminate all that, I do recommend using a Solomon slider. So let's go over this. Assuming that we are going to do that principle, we're going to spread call a random card, in this case the ace of diamonds. Now we're going to offer the deck for the spectators to touch any card they want. Let's say they happen to touch this one over here. We're going to make sure that this card goes above the slider card. So in this case, the slider card is going to be the ace of diamonds. The nine of diamonds is going to be the card that is picked. So make sure it goes above and not below. If we're doing it below, that's a force. If we're doing it above, then we're actually making use of the properties of the card to reduce the friction. Now, what's going to happen here is that as we bring our hands down, we're going to do the action of the spread call, which means bringing that card to the right by using our fingers, much like, again, the spread call lesson. This is nothing new to hopefully you guys that have seen this on the Academy before. But one more time, the card's picked. As the cards are turned face down, right now, the card and the slider are underneath the deck. So that's the way we're trying to get to right now. So after we've called the card towards the right and we're hiding it underneath the spread, what we're going to do is we're just simply going to spread down and reiterate to the spectator that it could have touched any card whatsoever. We're going to bring these cards together. So we're going to bring both halves together in the left hand and the right hand. We're going to put pressure with our left thumb. This is going to happen momentarily. We're going to put pressure with our left thumb, starting from the second card from the top of the deck. So right now we're putting pressure with the left thumb on all the cards below the top card of the deck, and we're putting pressure with our thumb all the cards that are above the left thumb, in this case just a single top card of the deck. Now we're going to separate our right hand from the left hand temporarily like this, which is going to bring those two cards underneath the top card. And this is done in the action of just using our thumb to push off and show clumps of cards to the spectator that their card is lost somewhere in the middle of the deck. Now that action has brought their card third from the top of the deck. So let's keep that card face up just for the sake of explanation here. So one more time, in this case, we have the king of clubs, which we show to the spectator. We're going to spread call that card underneath. We're going to spread to the bottom, and then we're going to bring our hands together. In this case, putting our thumb on all the cards below the top card, separating the cards momentarily as we spread the cards this way to show the fact that they could have touched any card. In this case right now, the king of clubs. So we're going to do this one more time just for the sake of explanation, but in full speed. So in this case, the spectator happens to touch the king of clubs. We reiterate that they could have touched any card they wanted, but they happen to touch the king of clubs, which of course is now controlled third from the top of the deck. So it's a nice, very versatile move, and it allows you to use the spread call instead of controlling the card to the bottom of the deck, but actually control it near the top. Now, if you want, what you could do at this point is you could say, now, of course, your card is nowhere near the bottom of the deck. Your card is nowhere near the top of the deck. And in that action, we've now controlled their card to the top by just taking those two top cards and burying them in the middle of the deck. So some points of finesse here where you're going to have an issue actually executing the move is in the actual separation of the hand. So you're going to have to practice on that particular movement when you separate the top card and the 2 cards underneath into the right hand. You're going to have to practice that action because it's not going to be as simple as I'm portraying it here in this particular lesson. That's going to be the hardest move, and of course making it seem like a natural action. It should just look like the spectator has touched the card. You've shown it in the middle. Now you've reiterated that they could have touched any one of these cards, any card whatsoever. And that's the action that we're trying to mask the move under. So make sure to actually practice the separation aspect of it, because that's going to be the most challenging part of this control. We're spreading to the bottom. We're then showing cards in the top. And of course, that's the action that we do to mask the control. So from this angle, we are spread calling a slider card. The spectator is touching any card. In this case, it's going to be the 10 of diamonds. We're controlling that card underneath here in an exposed view. We could then spread a couple more cards here. And then finally, we're going to spread some cards near the top, but not before taking that bottom card along with the slider card into the right hand, saying to the spectator that they could have touched any card whatsoever. Their card is not near the top. Their card is not near the bottom. Their card is lost somewhere in the middle of the deck. Of course, we know better. And one more time from this angle, just to make sure that we are as clear could be. You could have touched any one of these cards, any card whatsoever, sir. Your card is not near the top. Of course, that would be dumb. Your card is not near the bottom. This isn't one of those tricks. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. It is. So that is the top spread call control. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Thank you guys for being members of the Academy. Again, please leave the comments on the YouTube section. For some reason, Patreon doesn't seem to send me the notifications as I want to. So please leave the comments on the YouTube side and not the Patreon side. Again, I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is that they're smoking. But thank you guys for being members of the Academy, and I hope to see you on the next one.